Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. Today we are in the new Quarry to check out the place and do a delivery of the new limestone material, which is something for dump trucks and trailers, so I decided to already get out my own one. And we are going into the quarry. I think we are just gonna take stuff from the lowest point here. I don't know what's gonna make the most money. I don't really want to just run around and check it out. I know everything has the same location to go to, so that should be pretty straightforward from there. And yeah, I'm just using the SRT now. I hope it is strong enough to pull up the stuff up to this point again. Otherwise, we may need to use the Jimusi after all. Or just the Brutus Wrecker or something, I don't know. Okay, immediately jackknifing, that's a good start. And yeah, this place is something that I like to call the rally racing track complex because it's just waiting to be used for that kind of stuff. I'm surprised I didn't see any tracks around here yet. I'm still... Jesus Christ. I was steering to the right, to the left again, trying to counteract this, but it didn't work out. So we might need to go around here and let us make our way to the lower part of the whole thing. I might be screwing myself over by going low, but I hope this is going to work out. And yeah, this entire area, it's large. It's a lot. The paths are pretty wide, but nothing is really secured, so if you take a wrong turn, you might go down to the bottom of it. But it's so cool to have this now. I'm just amazed by the stuff they put out. I'm not so amazed by what my trailer is doing though, but it caught itself finally. And here we're also transitioning into nighttime. Recording this right up after the last episode and... oh god. Maybe I should just activate the lake brake and maybe make this a bit easier on myself. Hope that helps. But in the end I likely should be braking more because that should also apply brakes on the trailer. Yeah, I think we are going to find out pretty quickly if this truck can make it back up or if we need something stronger. Thankfully there's also a parking lot over there, so if we get stuck here I don't just have to go for a long trip. I could have maybe also just spawned in the truck down here, but I think, well, it's part of the experience really. And yeah, barely more than 1k for this load per ton. So we're going to be making like maybe 16k or something. 17, who knows. It's not gonna be that much though. But the trip should also be rather straightforward because the only location right now is the concrete factory. So we just need to make it out of this hole, get back to the OG gate with the highway connections and then just go across the eastern bridge until we hit the end of it, and that's basically where the factory is. But yeah, this seems to be working pretty well. Since we made it up that first incline, I think we should be good for the rest as well. Also, thankfully the truck is handling a bit better with the load pressing down on the rear axle. A bit more tame now. And this is really a good reason to use the SRT. It works perfectly fine with these trailers. Same with the CUDA. But I just like the SRT a bit more for this. I'd be more interested in using the CUDA if we had like a short box truck version or box trailer version. Basically the Vermos, but in short. There are so many different trailer types that I would like to get, but yeah, gonna wait for them. I hope they at some point add a few more things. Like a short flatbed, short boxcar trailer, short tanker trailer, long dump trailer. That could be something, but I think the devs would likely be afraid of when making the dumpy completely redundant. But then again, the dumpy can get into places a semi truck with a trailer can't. So I think that would still be used for both. This is the one thing I am a bit weirded out about. You can't really see it that much, but this path right now, apart from the lamps, it's really hard to tell that it's a path to begin with. I think it should maybe have either some tire tracks if possible, or some other stuff to set it apart from the area around it. Tire tracks would likely be hard to implement at this point, because from what I know, those dirt paths, they are not really any splines or something. The roads right here, those are all splines being placed down in order to get the curves, make everything smooth. But I think or at least a lot of the dirt paths are just regular terrain. There are definitely a few that seem to be different, but it's not all across the board. And yeah, they definitely need to do something about the weird terrain reshifting. Performance optimization and all of that really yeah, should get some attention at some point. For what it is, the game seems to be running pretty badly, but looking at how the mountains are shaped, I think they could maybe skip out on some optimization there. Because the stuff that you are seeing right now is something that you would already have as a level of detail thing when you are quite far away in other games. With this game, it's part of a style and that's all cool, but I don't know if you really need the other level of details as well. If you can avoid the whole shifting thing through avoiding those. And yeah, maybe not the smartest idea overtaking the cop here. Let's just get back in line before I get a fine for driving on the wrong side of the road. It's just that the AI is so inconsistent with how fast it's going. Also, I'm not really happy going 60 to begin with over here. Yeah, screw you, cop. Oh yeah, and we are about to come up to the turn-off point for the landfill. Which of course we don't really have any business with right now. But I feel like that bit of path between the landfill and the quarry is a bit more chill than the kind of corners we're about to run in a moment here. Oh yeah, thinking about my rally event. Initially, it was meant to go to the landfill and all of that. I don't know if I want to extend it to go to the quarry. I think the times for the different stages work out pretty well with the landfill, but it would now be an option to include the quarry as well, but I think it might be a bit much. And yeah, this road now is pretty steep at some points and with a lot of bends and turns, so gotta be careful. The way this is all set up with my truck and trailer, it's a lot less top heavy than the dumpy, but it still can flip over if I'm not careful enough. Especially this little chicane thing over here. Looks a bit more extreme on the map when once you really drive through it. Which is also something that I want to talk about regarding the whole event feature. I know I can't shut up about it, but let's be honest, it's pretty exciting. I just I wish there was an option to do some of the checkpoint placing just in real time while flying around, maybe in with drone cam or something. Because at the end of the day, while the map thing is really convenient, like it lets you do some things really quickly and just set up a route, fine adjustments, and really seeing how it looks like in yeah, in game. Especially if you want to place your checkpoints a certain distance from an intersection to make things work out the best it can. It's really tough getting that right from the map because it's not that precise at the end. But yeah, any way you do it, there are always going to be some upsides, some downsides, and that's just how the things happen. With us not being able to save the tracks in-game, right now it feels a bit like, and this may just be a misperception on how it is set up right now, and not the actual intent. But it feels like it's more meant for like one-off set and forget things. So you set up a track real quick, you get your pals together, maybe do like a point-to-point race. And you do that once, you close the event, the track is gone, and you do the next one later down the line. But yeah, in the end, it's also kind of open to do things on repeat with the import-export feature. But it also just feels very rough around the edges. I am not even sure if the whole being able to do things in Notepad was intended from the get-go. I'm glad that there is the option, but I'm not sure if they wanted it to be that way. But yeah, it allows people to put in a lot of more time and work in order to make things as good as they can be. While right now, if you only go for what you can do in-game, especially since there isn't really an insert checkpoint in between others option right now, it really seems like it's more meant for quick setup, quick event, and then be done with it afterwards. Which is cool that it is an option that you don't need to spend like 2 or 3 hours in an editor to set up something basic. But I hope we also get some advanced tools for things like reoccurring racetracks and that kind of stuff. I've already seen people having mapped out different racetracks around the map, like the permanent ones, so that they can start event races through those instead of just relying on the time attack feature on those racetracks. And that's kinda cool in its own right. I wouldn't have even thought of it, at least not right now, but yeah. Makes a lot of sense. I hope it doesn't clash with the regular layouts, so that the event that you are in and the time attack that you start by going across the finish line doesn't happen at the same time. Theoretically, you could also use this to do reverse layouts. Might be worth considering at Aewol, because that track is quite tough the original way around. I'm not entirely sure, but maybe it's a bit more forgiving going in reverse. We might as well try it in a moment. I mean, we are about to hit the highway, the whole bridge section, and afterwards we are pretty much done with the whole delivery here. Not really the most exciting thing in the end, but I thought it would be worthwhile showing off. Gonna see how much we really get in the end. I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to pay, and I'm also not sure if it's really part of any production line, or if adding this to the concrete factory does basically nothing. We'll have to check in on that in a moment. But yeah, in straight lines it would just be 3 kilometers. It's a bit more using the roads. Might still be recommendable though. After all, we cannot fly. Yet. Who knows? But yeah, I feel like this combination of semi and trailer is pretty nice. I would like to see more trailers for this kind of purpose. Also, I don't know, do you need to bring fuel over to Gwangjin or the coal mine or something? I think for that, having a tanker trailer would be really nice. And yeah, of course, I still want a slightly lower capacity, longer trailer again, like the 20-ton trailer from the asset base that we had before. The 40-ton is just so unwieldy. If we ever get like a 15-ton short trailer, then I think the long trailer should maybe be like 25 or so, because 15 and 20 would not make that much sense. But I think, yeah, just having some of the small vehicles with like 5, 6 or 7 tons, then the small trailer with 5 tons as well, then 15 tons for the small semi-trailer, 25 tons for the mid-size semi-trailer, and 40 just for the long one. I think it would be a nice way to step it up. I was a bit surprised for a moment just how much the front of the trailer goes down every time we hit the brakes. I'm gonna show you from the side in a moment, once we pick up speed again. Just keep an eye out on how much the front of the trailer budgets down into the truck itself. Okay, let's go into the dirt here so that we can actually see with some lights. Okay, of course the braking on the dirt is much reduced. My bad. But yeah, I want to show you how much the whole thing compresses there. So, can I quickly do this? We're going past here, and yeah, it really goes in front, and also just how it bounces back up. I mean, wow. Anyways, let's finally finish the delivery. Enough playing around. I really still hate how slow some of the front wheel turning is. And that Mammoth driver definitely needed to pay the price here. Okay, if you guys are just going to stop in the middle of the road, I might as well cut in front of you. So let's bring this over. I still hope we'll eventually get the dump ramp there with the grate. But I think it would also likely require a slightly larger rework of this area, so I get why they didn't do it yet. They definitely put a lot of work into the quarry and everything, so yeah, can't do it all at once. Okay, 17.6k. I mean, it's alright. Spent 20 minutes on it, I think. I think there is potential to maybe increase the price a bit. I mean, it's also decently heavy, so I don't know. It's definitely not going to be something that everybody is gonna be doing all the time. But I feel like for the amount of time I spent here, maybe it could be a tiny bit better. Oh, okay, apparently we now need limestone to create concrete. Jesus. I mean, it's kind of fine. You are going to have a dumpy anyways. But having to maybe even preload everything with limestone to get everything else going. Also, you now need fuel. Huh. Okay. That's a choice. Also, for some reason, I only have 59 concrete in there, so I don't know. Why doesn't it show any fine sand anymore? What's going on here? Okay, this now has piqued my curiosity. So let's just quickly go over to a nearby construction site just to check that out, and then we'll also go over to, I should really flip to the inverse name list, and then we'll go over to the other place as well and see how Aewol works in reverse, since we can now work or just set it up as a track. And yeah, by the way, this is my Mark II Vista Relicos. You know what, let's get a light on so I can actually show you guys that thing. I needed to do a whole rework on the aerodynamics because the old one didn't work out. And what we have here now looks a bit more like a regular rally car. I was actually meaning to take the front lights off. So let's quickly uninstall those because I don't think they really add much over here. This is looking much better now. And I should also do something about the rear brake light, but I'll keep it for later. Since we're now using a full size spoiler, the brake light kinda is floating. And I should maybe readjust it. But I'll do that later down the line if I have a bit more time and just I'm not recording. It's a bit fiddly. But yeah, the whole thing now has a body kit, much more downforce, and it's working out amazingly well. Especially the, oh yeah, I almost forgot I wanted to take a look at the construction site, if they still produce fine sand. The old front bumper, that whole tube steel thing with a skid plate, it not only produced lift but also just a whole lot of unwanted drag and all of that. It just wasn't any good for racing. It gave reduced damage to the front, but yeah, to be quick it didn't really help out. Okay, so we can still produce fine sand over here, and it still goes to the Wait a second. Oh yeah, I don't have any fine sand production in here, so I now get just the regular sand. This might be something to come back to, now that we have some changes to how the entire thing works for some reason. Not entirely sure how that's going to work out. If fine sand isn't even part of the production chain anymore, then yeah, you might be able to get more money by delivering fine sand to the concrete factory, but you cannot turn that into concrete anymore, so I don't know. Also, now you need 2 more types of goods in order to make concrete to begin with. It's certainly different from the old just back and forth loop between transporting sand or fine sand using the dumpy and the concrete using the mixie. I kinda liked that it was just a bit simple and yeah, just needed the 2 vehicles going back and forth all the time. It was kinda unique in that way. Now it's definitely different, and I'm not gonna say that it's better or worse, but yeah, the old one had something unique to it, and this might be different now. Definitely needs more goods to keep the dance up. But that might be worth exploring in a different video. Anyways, right now let's take a look at Aewol in reverse. I was also maybe considering making a combined version. We have this little dirt track here in the middle, and we could basically do a lap around here, the entire thing, and then cut across here into the small track, maybe do a full loop and then come back around onto the full lap again and do a lap around that once more. That could be fun. Anyways, let's see if there's any potential good to be had by driving this track in reverse. With a much more capable rally car now. I shouldn't have said anything. The rally car might be more capable, but the driver is still the same, and yeah, definitely still the same problems for me. But yeah, I've seen a lot of requests for the track right here to be a bit reworked to get rid of some of the harsh bumps and everything. And I would be all for that, honestly. Right now it's pretty much unusable because of the bridge jump and also the weird little jumpy parts beforehand. I'll show you once we get to them. First up is gonna be the bridge now, and I hope it's not gonna kill me. But you never know with it. There's a lot of run up to this, but I hope the ramp is not gonna be too much. Okay, this is pleasant. I like this already. I might have to set this up myself or maybe hand this over to somebody else who wants to do it. But this could actually be an event track now. Especially if this works out nicely, and it's not amazing, but okay. But yeah, I'll definitely have to throw this into a chat at some point. And yeah, we could also do the crossover thing right here, going into the small track. I don't know if this would be interesting for an event. I mean, it's not as narrow as I thought it would be. It's still wide enough, I guess. It always felt pretty narrow to me, but right now, yeah, I mean, there's definitely enough space for multiple cars on the same track. And then we could even turn this into a full lap and slightly more than that. Going around here twice and then coming back to the main track. I mean, for the time being, I would maybe just... and... is this pit new? Don't know if I ever saw it before on other playthroughs, and... okay, resetting outside the track might be an issue. That's definitely new. But yeah, I could see this being an interesting thing to do, at least for main track in reverse. If the bridge jump is more consistent that way, then it would definitely be worth considering. Or I might just make a surprise and map this out myself real quick. Yeah, and then to get back onto the main track, you just come through here. Could be a bit of a collision hazard, but I mean, it's kind of a more fun thing than a serious race. But yeah, I think I'll just see how it works out if I map this out myself, and yeah, if we are going to constantly get some time attack stuff, we'll have to see about it. Anyways, it's gonna be it from me for this episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed whatever this was in the end. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the matter, and see you guys next time. Have a good one. Till then, bye bye.